How about a bombshell out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama within the last 20 minutes of me recording this? Did not see this coming at all. And for those that don't know, I am a resident of the state of Alabama. So, as you can imagine, shockwaves going through this state right now in real time as Alabama head coach Nick Saban just it was announced he is retiring. He is retiring after, I think, 16 years as the head coach. Six-time national champ. I think he's won six with Alabama, and then he had one with LSU before that. Shocking news. Absolutely shocking news out of Alabama. And I think everybody knew this day was approaching. I think everybody knew it had to happen eventually. I personally thought he would stick around for at least another season, maybe two. I mean, appears to be in great shape. Like, he's still on top of his game. I actually think this season was his most impressive coaching performance since he's been there, because that team that he had this year looked like they weren't going to get anywhere near the college football playoff, and then there they were. So I actually thought this year was his most impressive coaching performance to date, but I thought he wouldn't want to end it that way. But man, Nick Saban has retired, and all of my friends who are Alabama fans are just absolutely stunned at this news. What I want to say about Nick Saban, because I'm an NFL first kind of guy. I have a podcast called Two Tone Talk where I talk about the Tennessee Titans and the NFL. There's a link to that in the video description below if you want to go check that out. But in terms of college football, I will tell you this. I am a devoted fan of the game, and you would have to be a dummy not to acknowledge what this dude has done at the University of Alabama for the last 16 years. Nothing short of GOAT material. I mean, this guy is the greatest college football coach of all time. Greater than the Bear, greater than any. I mean, to do what he's done year after year. Think about the guys that have come through. Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy, TJ Yeldon. That's just running backs. That's just running backs. Not to mention the quarterback play from A.J. McCarron, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Bryce Young. Even guys that you may not remember like Jake Coker. Hey, national champion. National champion. To get Jalen Milroe playing the way that he did. Are you kidding me? Wide receivers. Let's talk about Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper. All of these receivers, Jalen Waddle that came through there. Just the talent that he has brought in, and the teams that he has had. I mean, it has just been a run like you will never see. Again, and that's just offensive talent, I said. We ain't even hit on some of the defensive talent that he has sent to the NFL. This guy, I mean, you're not going to touch him. I mean, you will never see another college football coach go on a run like this guy's been on for the last 16 years. Even years when they didn't win a national title, he had them right there. And even in years when they didn't make it to the championship, I mean, it usually took a miracle. It took a kick six. It took a Johnny Manziel having one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. It took a Cam Newton comeback. I mean, it took miraculous performances to keep this team out of the playoffs or out of the national championship, you know? And you can say whatever you want, but there's a lot of SEC teams breathing a sigh of relief today. There's a lot of SEC teams, and even beyond the SEC, breathing a sigh of relief today because the stranglehold that this guy has had. I mean, they just won the SEC this year. And many people thought they had no right to even be in the SEC championship game because Georgia was so unbeatable and great, and Alabama beat them. I mean, unbelievable. And as far as who is next in line, listen, I don't know. Somebody's going to take that job, but I wouldn't want that job. I wouldn't want to follow up Nick Saban at Alabama. I would not want to be the next guy to take over because the pressure and the expectations. Oh man, because this is a fan base and a school that is used to winning, and they used to winning a lot, heck of a lot more than they lose. So whoever is the next guy up at Alabama, you're gonna be expected to win. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. I mean, it's the end of an era. It is truly the end of an era. I mean, when I think about this guy, when I think about Nick Saban, head coach of Alabama, I think of the talent that he gave us, the different players. I think of all the national championships when they beat Texas for a national championship, when they beat LSU for a national championship, when they beat Notre Dame for a national championship, when they beat Clemson for a national championship, when they beat Ohio State for a national championship. I mean, good Lord. You're hearing names thrown around: Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman. Used to be Dabo Swinney was a name that you would have thrown in there, but I don't think anymore. Lane Kiffin is a name that's thrown out there. But whoever is next, my hat's off to Nick Saban, as he is apparently going to ride off into the sunset. And I said it just a little bit ago, I think he is going out on his best coaching performance that he ever had. To have this team, this Alabama team that he had, ignore the dog. I'm sorry about the dog. He probably hears the UPS man or something. But to have this team in the playoffs this year was nothing short of miraculous on his part. So he deserves all the credit for that. And, year after year, how many coaches have been fired over the last 16 years because they couldn't touch Nick Saban? Teams have tried and tried and tried to bring in coaches that could consistently beat Nick Saban. And a bunch of dudes got fired because they couldn't do it. I mean, this guy, he has changed the game forever. And he has raised the bar. Good luck to whoever's next. The greatest college football coach of all time, Nick Saban, has retired. What do you think? Who's going to replace him? Who's going to be next? Talk to me in the comments below. God bless you. Take it in. Soak it up. Bye.